Okay, ladies and gentlemen, picking up where we left off, we concluded that we need to combine these two equations. So let's write that out. So for this equation, we have 15x plus the 9y equals 45. And I have the negative 15x, the two x terms that have the same least common multiple of negative 10y equals 30. Now, we concluded that, as previous to our work from the first problem, that the reason why we went through all this work to get these, we needed to combine these two equations. Is that correct? Think about it. Take a look at it. All right, so we're going to combine those two equations. Is that true, Charlie? You too. You agree as well, Sally? Very good. What about you? Do you agree? Very good. I'm so proud of all of you. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Well, now I draw my line across here. And what happens next to Joe? What's going to be the story? Like on the, the Brady Bunch. So, what's the story behind this bunch? Yes. The 15s, they cancel. They are additive inverses of one another. What happens with these two terms? Yes, they are opposite the sign, so we can subtract. So I get 9 minus 10 is going to give me, yes, negative 1, and I'm going to show that. Negative 1 times y, that's going to be equal to 75. Very good. Now, have I achieved getting the y by itself yet? If I haven't achieved that, what am I going to do now? Well, let's see. Philip, what am I going to do? What do I need to do to get the y by itself? James? What do you think? What's happening here? What am I going to do? You said they're multiplying by negative 1. So what are you going to do? If the y is being multiplied by that negative 1, what are you going to do? You're going to do the opposite, yes. You're going to divide both sides by negative 1. So let's take a look at that. So now I have negative 1 times y. I divide the left side by negative 1. Over here I get 75 divided by negative 1. So therefore y is equal to negative 75. Okay, so far, as we found out before, we got our value of y is equal to negative 75. So we got the y coordinate of the common point of intersection. But the question is, what are we going to do to find out the x coordinate of that point? What am I going to do? Well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pause your video, copy the work that we've done so far, think that over. I found out that y is equal to negative 75 for that common point of intersection. I need to find out what the x coordinate is of that point of intersection. How do I use this? How's this going to help me define the x value? Pause the video, copy that down, think it through. All right, did you think it through? All right, so far, we found out for the point of intersection, y is equal to negative 75. We need to find out the x coordinate. So, what do you think? How are we going to do that? What did we do during the last problem? Since we know that those two equations are going to intersect at a common point, they're going to share a common x and y value. That is the only point they're going to share in common, the x and y value. So I know that y is equal to negative 75. I need to find out what is that common x value. What concept am I going to use to do that? Let's see. Carlos, talk to me. What concept am I going to use to find out what x is? Okay. Charlie, do you confirm that? Okay, Carlos and Charlie said that they're going to use, what do you think they said they're going to do? Yeah, they said they're going to use substitution, and they're going to substitute that value of y into what? Let's see, Franz. Okay, into one of the equations, yes. All right, so what equation do you want to substitute that value of y into? Let's see, which one do we think will be easier? What do you think? What do you think? Okay, let's use equation 1. All right, so here it is. We're given 3x plus 2y equals -6, given that now we know that y is -75. So we're going to take that value of y and substitute it into our equation. Are you ready? Very good. Let's move forward and do that. So now I have 3x plus 2. Now in place of that y, I substitute the 75. In place of y, I put the -75. So I substitute that. So I get -75. There it is. Substitution. In place of y, I substitute the -75. Do you agree with that? Very good. Okay. So now I come over here. Now bring down the -6. Okay, so now we have an equation in one variable. What do I do now? What operation is this? Think through everything you do. What operation is that? Frank? Very good. Yeah, we're going to multiply these two together. So now I end up getting 3x minus 150. That's going to be equal to that -6. Am I finished yet? Harold? You agree with Harold? We're not finished. Okay. So what do I need to do now? I need to solve that equation. I'm looking for what value? The value of x. So I need to get, what do I need to get by itself? I need to get the, I need to get this term by itself. Okay, so since I need to get this term by itself, what do I need to get rid of? Can you tell me, what do I need to get rid of so that this term is left home alone again? I need to get rid of the 150, yes. Concept. Additive inverse, exactly. I need the additive inverse of 150. What is the additive inverse of 150? Yes, 150. Concept. I add 150 to both sides. Additive property of equality. Whatever I add to one side, I add the same thing to the other to maintain the balance. Very good. So let's go ahead and show that. So now I get plus 150 plus 150 on the left side and the right side of the equals sign. So now I get 3 times x. That's equal to 144. Very good. Okay. So now what do I do? What do I do now? I need to get the x by itself. So what operation is this? Fred? Come on now. Excellent. Yes. Frank? What do you say? Do you agree with them? What do you think they said? Well, they recognize this means 3 times x. I need to get the x by itself. So we got to think opposite operations. So they said, since they're multiplying, they're going to get obstinate and do the opposite. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Let's go ahead and show that. So let's utilize this space right here. So now I'm going to go 3x equals 144. Now they're multiplying, you do the opposite. I divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I have x equals. And now I get 144 divided by 3 is 48. Yes, it is. So x is equal to 48. So now I know that the common point of intersection of these two lines is the coordinate point 48, negative 75. There goes my common point of intersection. Do you agree with the work that I've done so far? Now, what I'm going to ask you again is to pause the video. Please copy everything down and check over what we have done. Do you have any questions? Harold, Philip, and Ralph, any questions? Is there anything here I did that was confusing to you? Okay, if there's anything here that I did was confusing, send me an email and I'll get back to you and we can discuss it. So look over each line here and see what I did and copy everything down. Please pause the video. Are there any other questions that you may have of me? Thank you. All right, all of you have been excellent students. I have enjoyed my session with you. Give yourself a hand. Thank you so much. Excellent. Have an excellent, fantastic day, and may you see more success in your life. Thank you for joining me today.